Finding ancient treasures in Israel is quite common, but finding two of this historical magnitude in the span of just 1 week is unprecedented. Local archaeologists last week found a 1,500-year-old plaque with a Greek inscription reading "Christ, born of Mary." Researchers say it was used to ward off evil spirits. Just a few days later, one of the world's oldest mosques was uncovered on the shores of Israel's Sea of Galilee. It's time to turn to our archaeology expert, Anat Harrel, to find out what this all means. Let's dig it. All right, hi Anat, welcome to the show. So nice to have you.
Hi, nice to be back.
Okay, so Anat, an incredible inscription was found in the Jezreel Valley. Tell us about it.
Yes, and so the Jezreel Valley is the beginning of the Galilee, and it's very well known to have had a long, several hundred years of Christian history in the ancient times. And so what happened was that in the archaeological excavation by the Israel Antiquities Authority in a little Arab town called Taibe, they discovered in a wall of a building that they're not quite sure where it belongs to, one of the stones had an inscription on it in Greek, taking it back to the Byzantine times. And it said, Christ born of Mary, and then so and so and so, mentioned a few names. What's interesting about it is that Christ born of Mary was a regular salutation during the Byzantine times. And it shows that this particular inscription sat on top of the door of a church. They did not find the church, but it's obvious that people who come in are saluted, with the salutation. And it's very exciting because in that very same Arab village in Israel, they found, there's a dig there from about 4,000 years ago from the Bronze Age. There's another dig there that have excavations that discovered things from the Crusader times, 900 years ago. And in that same village, a tiny village, they now found remnants of a church that they haven't found yet, but hopefully they will, from about 1,500 years ago. It's really cool.
Wow. And another, like I said, another amazing discovery was made not so far away on the shores of the Galilee. Tell us about that.
Right. And so very close by in the Galilee, right next to the shores of the sea, in the middle of the city of Tiberias, years ago, they discovered a building. And the building they figured it was from about the 8th century, which was during the early Islamic period. But now they've excavated further and they found shards and remnants from what they believe was, now they believe that this mosque that they had discovered was actually built about 100 years prior, which makes it one of the oldest mosques that has been discovered in the area. All right. And that's also so interesting because the Galilee, all right, is such a multi-layers of civilization. That's why I love living here.
Right, and these discoveries are just emphasizing the diversity of the history of this country. What is it telling us?
Exactly. And so it shows us the levels of diversity. So first you had the Canaanites, and then you had the Bronze Age, and then you had the Jewish civilization there. And then with the Jews, you had the Romans, and you had the Greeks before that. And then you had the Byzantines, and then you had the early Islamic period and the Crusaders. Everything in the same area. And in the very same area, you can find finds from thousands of years apart, right almost in the same village of Taibe in the Jezreel Valley, for example. It's really cool.
Really, really fascinating stuff, Anat Harrel. Thank you so much, as always.
You're welcome.